Good morning, fellow Nigerians across the globe. As always, I am George Onyibe. Of course, this morning, I want us to look at the message I simply titled, First Steps to Building and Sustaining a Prosperous Community. My topic closely. You may be able to know the mindset behind what I say even before I say them. Communities are built, they are developed, but then they are prosperous, and somewhere along the line, it must be sustained. All these things don't just happen, most especially when we don't have all the time. Bob Marley once said, "We are once a man, but twice a child," because everything is for a while. And now, if I follow his line of thought, he said, take a look at the whole situation. Nations are rising against nation. Fathers are rising against son. And then the mother against the daughter. And in within our context of one Nigeria, we are fighting each other. And in that his song, he historically asked the question, where did it all begin? And when will it ever end? Nation rise against nation. When did this all begin? When will it end? It's a question all of us must ask. Based on this view and what is currently happening in Nigeria, which most of you are not aware of, because you used to have your way in the past, and so you have become psychologically and spiritually insensitive. It's just the way it is. No, we are on a dispensational shift, not just in Nigeria, but the entire Africa. And maybe in the next 50 years, our life will not remain the same again. Forget about those who can boast about ballistic missiles, radio-magnetic pulse, and whatever weapon of mass destruction they have at their disposal. When the time comes, you will understand the true meaning of once a man, twice a child. And now, here in Nigeria, we call to a stage where every ethnic group was not recognized as ethnic group, but we were there. We were or have found ourselves in a position where it does not matter if you are Yoruba, if you are Hausa, if you are Igbo, or if you are supposed minority. What actually was important in that era was that the British, under different administrators, from Richard to Clifford to Lugard, all of them has not only stolen from us, but has eventually turned us to beasts of burden, choosing who live or who die, playing gods in our very life. Everybody had their own fair share of the imperialists. And so we were able to unite by our suffering. We could identify our relationship by the challenges we face more than where you come from. And so everybody gathered. Something happened on that very fateful day. It was in Enugu. There were some young Nigerians who were actually out there mining coal. They complained about being paid lesser wage. And the imperialists who were stealing our coal arrogantly shut those men down. Most of you know the Enugu coal mining. I think about 21 of them was killed just because they protested. And this has gotten to a situation where Nigerians say no. It could be that it has happened in Enugu today. It could happen in Ibadan. It could happen in Kano or Kaduna or anywhere else in Nigeria. If we keep quiet, it is only going to get worse. And that is why when we see some things today, we know if we keep quiet, it will get worse. Imagine if we were not doing what we are doing. Tinubu would have known that his Jagaban is a child play. Because by now, Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, and the incumbent president, will be ashamed to walk the streets. It's not as if the army are not there. It's not as if the police are not there. Because what these Igbo Biafra people will do to him, let him go and find out from Buhari. It's not invincible. It's just that there are people who are truly keeping them on their heels. And so, what they know how to do best, not under our watch, it's over for them. Let me come back. And so Nigerians rose up. I can't forget the likes of Margaret Ikpu. How can I forget about the likes of Christian? You call it about women riot. It looked like it was Igbo people that led that riot. No. But we are not dragging it. Christian is a Calabar woman. But for it to take that tone, I was able to leave supposed South and went to the supposed Southeast. And then they moved on to the Southwest, among others, rally around themselves, begin to protest for so many reasons. Low income wages. And of course, the Enugu killing. It was the blood of those people that activated why we came together. And so when they submitted on how to go about Nigeria independent, many ethnic groups participated greatly. The Hausa was there. And should I say the Hausa Fulani was there. And the like of people like Ahmadu Bello and Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. The Yoruba have so many people. Though we hear more of Obafemi Awolowo, there are people like Mobolaji Bankantoni, so many of them who were wealthy. We have people like Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe and other progressive-minded Igbo people. I should tell you, we have people like Urumusele and Nahuru. So many of them from across board. They were not looking at who was majority or who was minority. They just need these imperialists to allow us to breathe. Need you to pay attention because I'm trying to form a foundation for our discussion this morning. And eventually, they started writing petitions. Trust people like Professor Ben Wabweze. And everybody deployed what they can do, placed it on the table. At that time, they were not looking at who is Igbo or who is Yoruba. It is who have the technical know-how. And for that moment, a community was formed. That era, the foundation was laid. That era, they prospered in everything they do. This your one Nigeria. But our problem is sustaining it. Because something went wrong. To sustain it, it's the ultimate challenge we have to face as Nigeria. And so they push and put pressure on the imperialists. And bit by bit, they left us. They've not completely left us. But at least we are now responsible for close to 70%, let me not exaggerate, of what we are going through today. Yes, you heard me right. And then the moment we've been able to deploy some process, and then it was time for us to create this community. The tools required to creating this prosperous community was missing. I'm coming. There was a night before they announced independence. They have to call meeting of stakeholders. There are Akwa Ibom people there. There are different tribes there. You see that man in your 1,000 naira note? He was there. And they said, let's have a meeting. How do we restructure power? How do we go about governance? They were crucial matters to be discussed. And then they can let the people know the next way forward. But after that meeting, they had another meeting. Because everybody made their submission. They went back and they had another meeting. It was that meeting they had that gave birth to Wazobia. And now Wazobia was born. All you see is competition, not healthy one. All you see is rivalry. It's like a man who did not plan his home well and went to marry 2 wives. Bring in the 3rd one and let's fix your obituary date very fast. But when you properly align situation and circumstance, Solomon have 700 wives and 300 girlfriends. Some of you don't still believe why it is possible. And I was looking at a content creator. You know, when they want to talk rubbish of the Bible, they allow their human mind to guide them. With the human mind, nobody will see God. Know this truth and have peace. Let me digress so you understand. My message is just simple one word. I will create a scenario and create a scenario. One day I will tell you why. Because there are vultures everywhere. Solomon did not marry 700 wives and had 300 girlfriends, 1,000 in all, because he was jumping up and down from one woman to another. Was he a frog? But this is the truth. You have failed to learn from your Sunday school class. Neither have you allowed the Spirit of God to lead you into it. David fought war all his life. He fought war to the extent that the war entered his house. But God loves him. God gave him strength, victory. But his time will be up, because once a man, twice a child. And when David died, the war continued in his house. Solomon was not the first son. Solomon even killed his elder brother. And he seized the throne. And there is blood in David's house. There is blood in the whole Israel. That was why God forbid David, don't build my temple. Your hand is filled with so many blood, both guilt and innocent. Solomon's wisdom he got from God was what enabled him to marry 700 women and then 300 girlfriends, what you call concubine. Do you know why? Despite all the war that Solomon fought, the Bible said throughout the reign of King Solomon, no nation dare draw sword against that kingdom of Israel. Why? Because of his military might? Why? Because of his magical power? Why? Because he knew something most people don't know. Solomon began to marry, to form a treaty, an alliance with all the nations his father has fought war with. And the bond in that treaty is marriage. He married Pharaoh's daughter. He married from everywhere marriable. He married even Goliath's children. He even married from Ethiopia. Anywhere there was woman, anywhere they have had issue with, he married them to show that, please, I come in peace. And that is why you see, how many children did he have in the end? And so when they have problem, for instance, with Yoruba people, if he was to be a Nigerian, as an Igbo man, he will take his Yoruba wife to escort him to Yoruba people to make peace. And if for any reason Hausa people have issue with some of their conduct, maybe as an Igbo man, he will take his Hausa wife and go and appeal to Yoruba people. This was the diplomacy. This was the protocol. This was the unique knowledge Solomon used. So throughout his reign, listen very carefully. No nation dared draw sword against him. And you see, he ushered Israel into a revolution that brought about development yet known to any civilization in his era. So if you say, oh, he married other wife, your own is pampalaring. No, it's not about the pampalaring. It is about the mindset behind it. And so if you have the true knowledge of the kingdom of heaven, it said something. And when I cut that clips, I repeated it over and over and over again. But it's not for this discussion, so let's move on. And so after they had that meeting that night, they went back and had another meeting. And so in those days, I was in IPOB. When we finish having meeting, this Igbo Biafra will go back and have another meeting. It even happened in de facto customary government. When Asare Dokubo finish having meeting with some of this Igbo Biafra, they will go back and have another meeting. They gave birth to Wazobia. It was all about who have the lion's share. Today, go and check some of my comment section. You will see Igbo Biafra people telling me that minority is a scam, that South-South is a scam. But when they are feeding on the resources coming from minority and South-South, we are not scam. And so that night, many of them were systematically dislodged. And Nahuru fought and fought, and he saw he could only be fighting himself. He pulled out. Do you know his parting gift? He wrote, yes, do you know his parting gift to Nigerian Wazobia? He made a publication titled, Nnamdi Azikiwe is sent or a demon. Why was that? Considering the fact that he was a Nnamdi Azikiwe boy, considering the fact that he was the Auditor General of the African Pilot newspaper in Ibadan, owned by Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. And that is how he left them and be observing them. But what really happened? Despite the fact we have gained independence, the pressure from the imperialists was still very high. He mobilized Nigerian youth when we used to speak with one voice, and they went to protest against the British administrators. They were rounded up and arrested. They looked up to Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe as their godfather, as their chairman, as we one time look up to one idiot called Nnamdi Kanu, thinking he was a moral individual. But instead of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe to prove what it means to be a leader and a father, taking responsibility, he jumped into his propaganda newspaper called African Pilot and issued a press communique that the colonial master should forgive Nigerian youth, that Nahuru is a young man who does not have sense because his youthful exuberance is his problem. You can imagine. Instead of him to begin to look for a way to make sure they know the world goes on and stop it from happening next time, he condemned his people. And so when you talk about how we got here, there are numerous versions, numerous chapters, numerous pages. But over time, this problem, this compliancy, all of them accumulated. And you know what? Boom. It's now boomeranging. And everybody want to blame everybody. And everybody know where the problem started from. And so the game of Wazobia succeeded. And most life of indigenous people you know nothing about was mesmerized. And still being mesmerized today. You can see Igbo Biafra people telling you who is Igbo and who is not Igbo. And I never know what I do myself. But it's not your hatred that drives me. But if Nigeria has considered these four major steps that enables us secure a prosperous society or community, Nigeria today will be a country or a voice to reckon with globally. I remember in Independent, go and ask Abubakar Tafawa Balewa and his clique them, if you still see them. When they enter America, they give them red flag, red carpet, I mean. They have their special guest house in Washington, D.C. Go and check. When a Nigerian man was coming to America at that eve of independence, they give our politicians red carpet, and we have our lodge there. Go there, and if care is not taken, you will pay your hotel bill by yourself. You lost it all. But now this is where we are. The problem has not ended, but it is metamorphosing. And the level it is going, this is my concern. I am not a prophet of doom. We try to point you to the direction. And sometimes if we are the path founder, if we are the seeker, if we are the gatekeeper, if we are the custodian, all we need to do is play our part. Because once a man, twice a child. We don't have all the time. And so we begin to point out to you, look at what is going to come. Because some of you are getting ready. We know how all of you function. God damn, do that like this, do that like this. Everybody has come in tense with your nonchalant attitudes. Believe me, irrespective of who you are, we already know the truth. But this is how it's going to be. The system they are creating now will lead to Nigerians fighting Nigeria. It's not going to be Wazobia, na Yoruba, na Hausa, and Igbo. No, it is going to be what they are trying to do now is to upset the balance. Yoruba, everybody will be fighting each other. And I tell you, Nigeria will not survive. You see that cartel, you see that cabal, you see that group, that gang you have built. You will know that the strongest army are not the one trained in the barrack. The strongest army are the ones that are born out of necessity, when men and women will vow to rather die than to let you have your own way. You will understand the power of will. Let's not get there. Because you see all of you doing buga buga. You are coming to our village to colonize us. We are looking at you. You are claiming land. We are looking at you. But I threaten nobody. I'm trying to prefer a solution. As usual on social media platform, that is where we read their line of thought and action. Because that is the only link they have that can connect them together globally, irrespective of who they are. We have learned how they function on the social media platform. We are following them up. I ran into a platform in TikTok, and I listened to hear what they were saying. Now, those people were bantering Akwa Ibom. The Akwa Ibom people, Calabar people, they are not Nigeria. Calabar people, Calabar Baba, Calabar Baba, Calabar blah 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 blah. And you see, when you want to see somebody who is telling you wisdom, they allow you to express yourself. Whether in sincerity, whether in stupidity, they will allow you to air your view. And then they will respond to you. And believe me, it will break the camel bone back. But by the time you see them, you call in, you ask them questions, they are rigmaroling, parabolating, and beating about the bush, not coming out to respond. No, those people are the true enemy of the whole process. And so I was listening. Somebody will call in, please, I want to know. They say, you be Calabar, Calabar no get sent, Calabar do this one, they migrate from Cameroon, from Congo. Okay. I spent some time trying to know who those people are. Whether they are Yoruba people, I couldn't figure out. Whether they are Igbo people who say they are Biafra, because that is how they function, I couldn't get it. So if I tell you now that it's Benin people, I don't know. But what I noticed yesterday was on different platforms, he said that Igbo is fighting Anyoma, Anyoma is fighting Ikwere, Ikwere is fighting Benin, and then Benin is fighting Calabar, and Calabar is fighting Eshan, and everybody is fighting Urobo. Urobo is fighting Ishekiri. Shekiri will fight Ejo. Who is trying to orchestrate that process? What are they trying to gain? But in the midst of this hulu-balu, if I should be sincere to you, all hope is not lost. And I've called those of you from the South. If what you are doing is about banter, continue to banter. We are here to deliver our message precisely, accurately. And if you are observant enough, you will get the result. When I discovered Biafra agitation was all about criminality, let me repeat myself again. I aboard the ship. I just needed to go. But sometimes I have to be responsible, because when you are supposed to be a leader, you must arm yourself with the mentality of redeeming accountability as of when necessary. I told them, and this is what I always do, I want to go. Check if I'm owing you, so that when I leave, I will not hear a story. Already they have started blackmailing me. I told them in the DOS, I made them a promise. I said, number one, I know you people will not leave me because it's in their nature. Look at my comment section later, you will see them. They will say, hungry man, idiot, uncompleted building, nonsense. I said, you people will come for me and I will not leave you people. I've written to them many times. You people are dancing naked in the marketplace. Allow me to go. Nobody will know I existed. Do you know me before? Do you see my face before? They were the one come, show your face, show your face. They don't see my face now, they don't chop them. The same way they are saying, uncompleted building, uncompleted building. I thank God it's uncompleted building and hungry is killing me. And when I shall manifest in my full glory, you will still go back and say, oh, he has collected money. Oh, our money he stole. Since I'm in uncompleted building, you forgot I stole your money. But let's not digress any further. I promised them, I said, I know how you function. When I come for you, I will not leave you because I must reciprocate. And like I told you in other broadcasts, for 4 months, I never responded to them. I come on social media, I listen to them. It breaks my heart, honestly. And sometimes I feel like crying. People who calls me name, people who praise me. I know what betrayers sound like and what it feels like. I know the taste. But the time I came back home and my children and family were sitting in the sitting room. As I opened the door, all eyes was on me. And I say, hey, I know that look. What is going on here? And one of my sons took out his Android phone and showed me. It was one idiot, Igbo idiot called Darlington Chibuike. You know what he was saying? George Onibe sleep with people's wife. George Onibe exposed. George Onibe sleep with people's wife. They were saying rubbish. And Igbo people will come down and talk rubbish. And I never know what I do myself. And I asked my children, do you think it's true? Do you know their response? They said, what we don't understand is that you almost abandon us because of these people. You spend more time doing Biafra thing than paying attention to us. And we just don't understand how they could turn 360 degrees and begin to do this. I say it's in the nature of man. But I'm happy they know I'm not close to what you are doing. So tell Igbo people, IPOB people, you people have not been able to destroy my marriage. Because I know what they were looking for. And now, why am I bringing all these things up? Because we know how they function. We know what you should do. There will be peace in Nigeria. We know what you should not do. But will they listen to us now that we are in uncompleted building? They are trying to tell you, let's solve Nigerian problem. How can you solve a problem you are not willing to admit its source? How can you cure a sickness you are not willing to say this is the true cause? One of my child sometimes had malaria. For almost 6 months, we were treating malaria. Tomorrow they say it's a malaria quenquen. Next tomorrow they say it's malaria tonto. The next one they say it's omega malaria, afamaga malaria. What is this? Until we went to the lab and they begin to call names and name. I saw this name will not work. If it's malaria, we must find it out. And then they begin to hear it's malaria plus plus. And then they begin to give him dose of malaria upon doses of malaria upon doses of malaria. That is what saved that boy. But ordinarily, they will only prescribe a higher drug, which will partially work and it will return. But this knowledgeable doctor said it is going to be a multiple treatment. We will treat it. We give it like 3 days gap. We start the treatment again because his malaria, whatever level they call it, was so high. And that is how they did it until they eradicated it completely from the system. And so when you talk about Nigerian problem, somebody tells you, oh, is this one, is this one. What if all this area we are pointing to be our problem is not actually our problem? Would you have been able to solve that problem? Now coming back to those 4 basic principles. And this message, though it is for entire Africa, it is for Nigeria, but the people I have in mind is the people of South-South. Because Yoruba has gone far. And if we are diligent and sincere enough, maybe we can meet them up in 10 years' time. But if not, prepare to walk 40 years in the wilderness. Now, Igbo have gone far. Hausa have gone far. The rest of us are trying to catch up. But don't worry. The pattern is the same. When Japan was conquered by China as a result of the British influence of colonialism, they initiated this process. And today, Japan is a staunch, and I respect China. But believe me, China will not be in a hurry to challenge Japan. Let's move. You look at Christianity and Islam. Christianity is almost 600 or 800 years older than Islam. The Christians has been here in the 1st century, while Islam came about, 4th or 6th century. And so the timeline between them is, if I am correct, is between 600 to 800 years older than. And let us assume that Christianity has been here 500 years before Muhammad was even born. But let me tell you that Islam is the fastest growing population of religious body in the world. It's the fastest, more than Christians. Do you know why? Because Christians now focus on building edifices and mentally corroding the moral knowledge even among themselves. They tell you how to live a good life, conquer Satan, and then wait for your death and go to heaven. We build cathedrals as if the one they built in London, all those are still functioning. They put their energy and resources in things that don't have second-hand value, in things that are not sustainable, in things that will not last the test of time. And today, how many denominations do they have? But look at Islam. Go and check the highest name they bear in the UK. They are not Muslim country. You will see it's Muhammad. Go and check the most popular name beared by all the ethnic groups in Nigeria. You will see it's Muhammad. But one should find out, how did the Islam fiercely taking over the world? We are afraid in Nigeria. Oh, they want to Islamize us. Oh, they want to Islamize us. Find out, why are they doing it? You have a community of Igbo people now that are Muslim. All of you, wait. They are coming for you. The earlier you buy your mat, the better for you. But of course, they understand that before judgment day will come, this is their belief, that Allah told Muhammad that Islam will enter every home, whether poor or rich, whether small or big. Islam will enter everywhere. They didn't fold their hand and waiting for Allah to make it to come to pass. They map a strategy, 4 of which I want to talk to you people of South-South. If you like, be muguing yourself. You are bantering. They banter. Are they banter Igbo people now? No worry. I am trying to prevent some criminal-minded Igbo people from taking the best of us. Nothing more. Don't banter them. I am their karma. And so the Muslims are not waiting for Allah to fulfill what he promised. The map a strategy. Number 1, this prophecy must come to pass. Whether by sincere means or by crook, they must bring out the jihadists. Islam must enter everywhere. And now, they don't have megaphone. They don't have plenty multiple cathedral of worship. Do you know what they did? Population. If you look at the population rate of Muslims, you will see that they outnumber all the Christians all over the world. And there are some already carried out, how do you call it? How do you call it? Why did this English go for mama? There are some stipulated accounts that says that between now and 2060, the population of Islam alone, those who are Muslim, will be more than the population of all the Christians all over the world. They have to marry plenty wives. And all these Muslims' wives have to give birth to plenty children. And all these plenty children are there evangelizing and doing what they have to do. But what about you as a Christian? You are there doing evangelism every day. You marry one wife, and then you born 2 or 3 because life is hard. You see those hungry people? You see those hungry people you call Muslim? You call them Alamajiri? You will know they are here in this world for a purpose. The day they will overrun all of you. No, the day they will overrun all of you. So when you are shouting, the Lord say, you are preaching Jesus. They are busy duplicating their numbers. The highest red bait in the whole world is Muslim, Africa, Arab people. Just they bomb, pum, pum, pum. Now they call them poor people. They are everywhere now. They are shoemaker. You call them aboki. They are littered everywhere. All of them are Muslim. They outnumber Christians nearly. So they are the fastest growing religion in the world. They were principle deployed, and tactically they are following it. But let me give you only these 4. I will not open up everything for you. But when we get inside the other room, I will explain for you. Number 1, to build a society that can be sustained, the first thing you need to do is to congregate, is to mobilize people, is to go to people. You're going to know their mindset. Do you know, for the past 2 years, I've been calling people. I need people. Let's come together, set up structure that will enable us control our economic space as Nigerians inside here in Nigeria. Preserve our culture, tradition, our heritage, and sustain our value. Do you know, to this very moment, I've not been able to come out with the right people? Not because they are not there, because I'm not in a hurry. Principle number 1, there must be congregation, mobilization. You must go around just to know their state of mind. When you meet some of them, they have the zeal, they have the desire, but they are afraid. When you meet some of them, they want to do what they want to do, but they think you are a scam. When you meet some of them, they're actually waiting for who will move first. All of them are useful. But I won't tell you what I'm doing since then. We'll just be talking, I'll be listening. And this is why when Jesus started his evangelism, after learning carpentry, he went among the people. He wanted to know what is their problem, what is their challenge, what is going through. He listened to them. Not what they are saying, but the intention of their heart. He saw many people. He saw Peter was a true man. Very violent. He could be arrogant, illiterate, poor man like me, living in an uncompleted building, with hot temper. But he was genuine, sincere. And Jesus said, follow me. Believe me, Jesus has seen even Peter's brother before he met Peter, and many others. He has seen James and John. He has seen many of them before he took Peter and made him the rock. He moved on, and then he saw Andrew. He moved on, and he saw many of them. He moved on. He brought in only 12. He actually had 72 disciples. Jesus gathered 72 people and screened the 72. At the end, only 12 remained. 60 left him. That is because they are not part of that project. And maybe that is what they did on the eve of independence. They gathered the people who fought for Nigeria independence. And now what did they do? They removed the rest and choose the main disciple. Now that is not an offense. That is not something bad. But understand, the 12 disciples were not working to protect their 12 interests. They were working to protect the interest of those who are in and those who are out. And that is why the Bible says, for it is not the will of God that any should perish, but that they might come to repentance. But the problem we have in Nigeria is that it's the will of some Nigerian cabals that some ethnic group must be wiped away, their culture erased, their history erased, value system lowered and completely annihilated. That is the difference between you. So number one, you must know the heart of the people. Nigeria will tell you we are working to do one Nigeria. The unity of Nigeria is a tax, but you don't want to know the heart of the people. When are you going to conduct national confab? National conference. Where will it be held? Where we can at least express our grievances. And then you know how to solve the problem. Maybe it's a will that will never be. And maybe this problem is going to last for a very long time. And so the people of South, this is the time. You see, it pains me. And I'm going to talk to some of you later on. Some of you who are our finest. Some of you who are our best. Some of you who had the experience. You are now bantering yourself. Oh, they need a woman. Oh, they look for a woman. Oh, you go this one platform. Oh, they support this one. Now they banter on ourselves. And when the best among us is taken from all of us, what hope do we have that we are actually the people? You think I don't get angry? You think I can't talk to you? I don't talk to people. When I talk to you, when I mean you, you will confirm it. Let's leave it there. So you congregate, know their mind. And so when you are going out with them, you will know who they are. I have a friend. He's a Ikore man. He was practically a liability to me. And people don't understand. With time, I talked to him. He started working with me. And people begin to complain. This guy is a bad guy. This guy is lazy. This guy is doing like this. And one of my uncle called me. I said, why are you always with this guy? I said, you see this bunch of people around me? If I am in danger now, this guy will put his life on the line for me. I said, that is why I will not leave him. He's my friend. People fear him. And people wonder the kind of person that I am. But the person I'm telling you today, he's a major politician in Rivers State. He's a very calm man, very gentle man, more wealthier than me than you can imagine. We don't give up on people, situation or circumstance. But let's leave it at that. And so you don't banter anybody. Because somewhere along the line, when you pass this junction will meet again. And once you have bantered somebody, even though you are meant, it can never be the same again. Number two, having congregated, mobilized, communicate to them, seeing their mind, you give them the vision. You now share the dream with them. Don't share the dream with anybody when you don't know their mind. Some are there to steal information. When you see some Igbo Biafra here, they want to know what I'm doing next. They will never. I've created so many platforms. The moment I cite Igbo Biafra there, I will not close the platform. I will leave it there. Let them remain there and be gossiping. And then I move on. The progressive-minded people there, I will pull them out and take them in the current one. Because the vision, what you ought to do, what is about to come, you must preach the message. I sent forth my word. Maybe you will remember. He said that word is a light in my path. Maybe you will remember. And everything you see is created by what? You must sow the seed. You must tell them your mission statement. And that is when you come out and say, this is what we want to do. Muhammad simply told Muslims, this is the promise of Allah. They are living up to it. They want to keep to it. And what did Jesus tell disciples? He told them, this is how to build the church. these 5 military gifts, disciples, are no longer the 12 apostles. But now I have reduced them to 5. And now, to some in Ephesians, he made pastor, teacher, apostle, prophet, and evangelist. It said they were not to say you are chairman or you are not the chairman. Let each man work speaks for them. But the essence of it is to edify, to build the body of Christ, that all of us may be able to grow in a perfect height of unity. Today, you see some people, they are apostle. They don't even know the meaning of apostle. And they are the one who want to expand Christianity. Some are prophets because our widows, our mothers, our poor people, they want prophecy. Be deceiving them. And then we are dragging hierarchy. This is because they don't even know what they are doing. And if I had to dabble into that, the greatest among them would have been the apostle. Because they are the one who had the blueprint of the church. But he has to humble the apostle that he doesn't have the capacity to lead the sheep. And that is where the pastor comes in. And the pastor cannot glory over his congregation because in the end, it is the prophet that had the mandate to reveal the mind of God. And so who is bigger among all of them? Except they stay in the post where they call them. And so you need to communicate to South people. Nigerians need to talk to Nigeria. We are not doing Nigeria because we want to kill ourselves or conquer anybody. We are not doing South because we want to do saga. We want to control our economic space. Maybe you don't get it. I won't give that detail here. Go and look at all the empires that has existed before now. Once they conquer you, they erase your history. Once they conquer you, they erase your history to turn you to a buffoon forever. Most of you fight for a cause you know nothing about. Why they do that is to, how do they say it in the military? Disarm you. They will disarm you completely. That is why you see Igbo Biafra man, he wake up in the morning, he tell you, I migrated from Israel, Abraham Jidren, I migrated from Congo Busa, I migrated from Angwangwa Burungba. Some of you, your grandfather, your ancestor fall from heaven. Be deceiving me. It's not your fault. But accept it's not your fault. You were disarmed. Now, you have to look for how to struggle and come back. Maybe something more acceptable. That is all this rubbish you are seeing. And so our culture, our tradition, our value system, we must uphold them. Because without value, no nation will develop. China has their value. Japan has their value. India have their value. American have their values. Russia have their value. It could be referred to rules and regulation. Believe me, in the absence of these rules and regulation, all of us are savages. That is number 2. Let them know this is what we are coming out to do. And then, if you have finished telling them, which is the number 2, and then the number 3 thing there is, you go to work. How do they go to work? What are they going to work? You strategize. How do we go about it? Most of you don't know how to go about what you are going about. And so when you get along the line, you miss road. He said that you were lost forever, or you go back and start afresh again. Nigeria has gotten to a crossroad where they don't know where to head to. And now some of us have followed north, some are east, some are west, some are south. We self were in south. And you think you don't know it's a sign of those who has missed their way. But believe me, if we do not meticulously retrace our step to where it all began, you see that we will lose our way forever, or we will go back to the beginning. I think it's more better option. And then having said that, we go to the 4th one. The 4th one is to create the platform of sustainability. Who will sustain it? And I'm a Christian, honestly. But let me tell you, the church failed. But I do not judge them. Because if it is the will of God, they go through this process. Of course, we understand what the Bible clearly says. But the church has failed the church. The reason I said so was the apostle handed over to the Catholic Church, which is automatically mean universal church. All the Christians were supposed to converge under this umbrella. But a lot of things went wrong. And so even 500 years later, when Muhammad was born, he had a calling. I was not taught by Islam. Like I've told you several times, I'm a scholar. In one of our studies in church history, it was clearly revealed there that Muhammad had a call. But this is where the Christians and the Muslims have their misunderstanding. Maybe it's the will of God, the will of Allah. Muhammad was going around in his time, looking for people who had the knowledge of the Creator, so they can guide him. And then he burst into some Catholic church who were worshiping. He saw the image of Mary, the image of Jesus, and all those angels. And you know, as we do, we kiss the image. We do like this. And he has read Exodus already, where he said, "Thou shalt not worship or set any other image, graven image before me." And Muhammad was convinced that these people are not serving the Almighty God. And then he pulled back. He followed his path. And they say Allah was the one guiding him. And I don't doubt them. But then the Bible says that those people who worship idol, you should kill them. That is where jihad war starts. Are they not obeying Allah? Did Allah not tell, or did Jehovah or God not tell Moses, this nation, a hidden nation, wipe them out, for I will show them vengeance? That time is a miracle of God. Make una use your brain. No? But they are not preaching for you to allow Muslims to be and allow Christians to be. Because after all, if the two sons of Abraham, Ishmael and Jacob, become the father of these two major religions, why did God not kill Ishmael, or why did he not kill Jacob? No, he said to Abraham, yes, Hagar will not be upon the one who my covenant is made with you, but Isaac. But out of Hagar, son Ishmael, I will make a great nation. You think God don't know this war will be there? But he said, for this Hagar, because of what he's going to go through, because of the suffer he will suffer, his life cannot remain the same again. And therefore his sword will be against every man, and every man's sword will be against him. These are prophetic terms that have lasted centuries, and they still standing today. You don't know what you give to people is what they give back to you. Each time you're analyzing, Fulani herdsmen do this, Boko Haram do this one do that. Oh, now don't go find out within they happen. Some of the atrocity committed against these people, some of you can't see it. You have forgotten. Because when your memory was erased, you didn't know. But they didn't forget. Look at all the Igbo people now that gang up against me and call me name. All those Igbo Biafra. They have forgotten what they have done. But look at the steadfast love of the Lord never ceasing. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. What you did to me, just to destroy me. The memory is fresh every morning. Each time you insult me, it reactivates the chemical. Even though I didn't want to come on Facebook, I will come and wipe your axe. Because that is what you actually need. And maybe that is how my own God directs me. Unfortunate. And so in trying to send forth leader, they failed. And so the Catholic Church failed Islam. The Catholic Church failed Anglican Church. Because along the line, one king took over Catholic Church and began to marry everything marryable. He marry cat, he marry pussycat, he marry melu, he marry everything marryable, marry mama, marry fellow man. Catholic Church say, no now, we have enough fault. You can't do this. And they say, the king says, since you don't want to marry me and this cow, I will open my own church. I won't call your name, but there are churches that used to be British communion. Now you are the Diocese of Niger Delta and Evo Communion. Make a just live on our way on our day. As that one was going on, another person said, no, error is here. And now you have Presbyterian, you have Metapetarian, Apatritarian, Now finally breaking the camel's back, Pentecostalism. Make we get them. But the point now I'm trying to bring, which is the first way, is as you sent for these disciples, they must be guided by rules and regulation, by principle, which is not there. And the end result of any system you are building, if not guided by rules and regulation, by principles, is going to end in chaos. And that is why many countries who were able to get independent, maybe I should say on a platter of gold, most of them plunged into war. The war that divided them. Russia and Ukraine today are example of what I'm saying. India and Bangladesh today are example of what I'm saying. And of course, in African countries, most African countries divided. Some pulled out. Even in Nigeria here, Bakassi Peninsula and Ambazonia, because this all-inclusive idea was not inculcated. They are now Cameroonian. Atiku Abubakar now is now in Nigeria because Adamawa State was not part of Nigeria. Because some people are not happy, some people want to leave, and some people want to come. Are we going to repeat the same problem? I will not be part of that. Ordinarily, a lot of things happen. Let's look at the police, for instance. We say, insult the police, curse the army, do this one, destroy them, they are Boko Haram, Fulani, you call them name. I have a younger brother who is a police, the same mother, the same father. He's in the Marine Police Division till tomorrow morning. Sometime when he comes back, you see injury on his body. They are in the water fighting pirates. And I fear for him. I pity for him. In most cases, they are not paid well. I don't know why. In most cases, things are not very easy for them. But every morning, they have to go out there. There was a day he came back with a very deep cut on his leg. He said they were chasing some smugglers in the water. All this rainforest water. And the trap they set in that water teared his leg. Very massive injury. It was taking time to heal. But a duty call, he has to go. And then when he died in the line of duty, we say, na police, God don't punish him. The bribe where he chop, the egunje where he chop. But when army say, come and join army, he said, don't join, no, they want to Islamize you, they want to depopulate you. And yet they know the risk. And yet they know the danger. An army man will wake up this morning and carry his gun and go to the duty post. He knows he's a public enemy. He knows he can be hunted down by the people they protect. Why do you think they are not free to live with you in your society? And so each time they tell you police is your friend, army is your friend, my brother, is a slogan. Because what they see on daily basis, they can't trust you. I have a policewoman that is my friend. And I got angry because I raised my voice on her. She never responded. But though she was wrong, what happened was not my entirely fault. But since that day till today, we are not quarreling, but it has to move away from me. I cannot apologize, but I understand her position. Because I'm a civilian. I may be a bloody one for that matter. Do you blame them? When they kill army, some of you are just, oh, they don't kill this army. Army is down. Useless people. They are supporting Boko Haram. Pray that police or army don't go to strike one day. So that you will understand what gangster paradise is. You know, when you hear the music, we're living in a gangster paradise. You think it's a, good melody. Come to gangster paradise so that you know the true meaning of jungle. And so whatever you are doing, there are approach. Engage the first one before you go to the second one. Make sure the vision is very clearing and begin to go about it. People of the South, all these ones you are doing, you still do where they tie you. You no go anywhere. Your culture and tradition is manipulated on a daily basis. Your values are lowered before your very eyes. And don't go think about it. Your economic space. No, you have little change over there. So you have arrived. You have arrived. Come home now. Let's know how far. They have moved out your natural ability to survive in your place. And that is just it. And I fear for you, you may not be able to come home. You know, if tree must survive, you must plant that tree on the earth. If fish must survive, you must plant that fish in the water. Everything have their natural boundary. And if you move them out of their natural boundary, they will die. The eagles, the birds, they have to remain in the air or they will die. This is where I bring the broadcast to an end before I begin to review what I'm not supposed to review. I'm George Onyibi. In our destiny. It's our destiny, it's not their destiny. And this is a project I cannot handle alone. If you are interested, you can code what I'm saying. Inbox me. Look for a way to reach out to me. You will get me. Because a lot of... And so, like I was saying, you know, the hackers, the attackers, they are always there. And so, try and reach out to me. And somewhere along the line, we'll correct the whole issue. Like I said, let's go to the comment section, receive my insult. You know, I love insults so that I can move on. Who do we have there? I see Daniel Nwora. I say, good morning. I greet you, Nwora. I'm Amnine Mofoma. I greet you. I greet you from here. I see good luck. I greet you, good luck. Good morning from here. I say, man. Strong body, I greet you. I see him, my brother, Harry Chim is here. Harry Chim is there. What a guan. Are you still in this country? Harry Chim is there. Good morning from here. And I see Daniel Nyebuchi. He say, confused man. That is a typical Igbo Biafra man. He say, confused man. Just like out your body language. Yes, like I was saying, Onyebuchi, he say, your time is over. Typical Igbo man. Don't you see I'm laughing at you? Because you are predictable. Very pathetic. Go and call the rest of your gang. Your time is over. Your time is over. We will kill you. We will behead you. You will do this one. That will be the last thing you people will do. You know what I'm telling you? You make mistake like this, param. I don't like using that word, your people. Anyone cross River Niger, enter your place. Let's see what happens. This title, you know, we don't know it. We will kill you. This is Igbo, man. You think I'm from the southeast, where you people can mess yourself up. Try it. That is how Ojukwu started. He want war, he want war. They were interviewing him. How do you see Nigeria? He said, well, yes, BBC was asking him, how do you see Nigeria? Do you think you can beat them? Ojukwu lick his man. You see, as I can say, they are not ready for what is coming. And I'm sure they will be surprised and overwhelmed. That was Ojukwu. And when he ran to Ivory Coast, he didn't show us surprise again. Now they cannot have told you people, when they arrest me, you hear anytime they arrest me, you are under oath. Burn down Nigeria. Burn down Nigeria. I'm an uncompleted building, firewood. Come and burn it, Onyoshi. On Ojiri Kam, Yakono Le Channel, Ojiri Kam. You think I'm here to banter? I'm here to cure your disease. Sign off from here. Go and call your gang, Onyebuchi. Come and join, Onyoshi.